Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying this: there is no man, no force on this earth that can resist a woman who knows her worth. When you understand the power of these two words, you'll command attention, respect, and devotion. These words aren't magic, they're a declaration, a boundary, a statement of independence that says, I will not settle for less than I deserve. When you say them, they must carry weight. They must be unshakable, like the roots of an ancient tree, planted firmly in the soil of your self-respect. See, the problem isn't that men don't listen, it's that you don't speak your truth. You shrink, you compromise, you bend over backwards, thinking that's the way to win love. But let me tell you, real men aren't attracted to weakness. They're drawn to strength. And strength isn't loud or boastful. It's quiet. It's steady. It's a calm refusal to be anything other than exactly who you are. When you say no more, you're not begging, pleading, or explaining. You're drawing a line in the sand that cannot and will not be crossed. Let me be clear, this isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about dignity. It's about looking a man in the eye and saying, I'm not afraid to walk away if you don't rise to meet me. Because when you respect yourself, the world will follow suit. So sisters, don't chase. Don't beg. Don't twist yourself into knots trying to be what you think he wants. Instead, stand tall. Know that you are enough. And when the time comes, don't be afraid to utter those two words that will change everything no more. With those words, you don't just command respect, you demand it. And that, my friends, is how you eat any man you want. The way you carry yourself speaks louder than any words you could ever say. Long before you utter a single syllable, the room has already decided how it will respond to you. Presence is not something you can fake or manufacture, it's an energy, a force, an unspoken language that commands attention and respect. It's the silent confidence that walks into a room ahead of you, declaring, I am here, without needing to make a sound. Those two words, whatever they may be, are powerless if not backed by a presence that demands admiration and attention. Think of the most captivating individuals you've ever encountered. Was it their beauty that struck you? Their wealth? Their talent? Perhaps. But more often than not, it was something intangible. It was the way they held their head high, the way they moved with purpose, the way their very stillness seemed to radiate strength. That's the power of presence. It's not about trying to be noticed, it's about embodying a self-assurance so profound that being noticed becomes inevitable. Presence begins within. It's rooted in how you see yourself before anyone else does. If you walk into a room doubting your worth, that doubt will bleed into every interaction. People will pick up on it, consciously or unconsciously, and respond accordingly. But if you step into that same room with the quiet certainty that you belong, that you are enough, everything changes. People are drawn to confidence because it is rare and because it makes them feel secure. When you exude self-assurance, you give others permission to see you as you see yourself. But presence is not arrogance. It's not about being the loudest voice or the flashiest dresser. True presence is understated, it doesn't need to announce itself. It's the calm in the storm, the unshakable foundation upon which everything else is built. It's in the way you listen more than you speak, the way you meet someone's gaze without flinching, the way you hold yourself as though you already know your value and need no one else to confirm it. Body language plays a crucial role in cultivating presence. How you stand, sit, and move tells a story about how you feel about yourself. Slouched shoulders, fidgeting hands, or a downcast gaze speak of insecurity and uncertainty. On the other hand, standing tall, moving with intention, and making eye contact convey confidence and composure. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it with your posture, your gestures, your very being. Silence, too, is a part of presence. There is immense power in the ability to be comfortable in silence. People who feel the need to fill every pause with words often betray their own nervousness. But when you can sit quietly, letting the moment breathe, you project a sense of control and self-assuredness. Silence can speak volumes, conveying a confidence that no amount of chatter ever could. Presence also requires authenticity. You can't fake it for long, and trying to do so will only exhaust you. People are incredibly perceptive. They can sense when someone is putting on an act. The most magnetic individuals are those who are unapologetically themselves. They don't try to conform to what others expect or want them to be. Instead, they embrace their quirks, their flaws, their uniqueness. This authenticity is what makes them compelling. It's what makes their presence feel real and grounded. Developing presence takes practice. It's not something that happens overnight. It requires a commitment to knowing yourself, to valuing yourself, and to presenting yourself in a way that aligns with that inner truth. It's about recognizing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your worth isn't up for negotiation, and your presence isn't contingent on someone else's validation. When you carry yourself with presence, everything you say and do gains weight. Your words are taken seriously, your actions are respected, and your boundaries are honored. This is why presence is so essential. It gives power to everything else. Without it, even the most eloquent words can fall flat, and the strongest arguments can be ignored. But with it, even the simplest statements can carry the force of a command. So before you speak those two words, whatever they may be, focus first on cultivating a presence that will make those words impossible to ignore. Walk into every room as though you belong there, not because you're trying to impress, but because you've already impressed yourself. Stand tall, move with intention, and let your energy do the talking. When you do, those two words will become more than just a statement. They'll become a declaration backed by the undeniable force of your presence. And that, more than anything, is what will leave a lasting impact. Words are among the most powerful tools we possess. They can inspire nations, heal wounds, or destroy relationships with a single utterance. Yet, their power is not inherent. Words themselves are nothing more than sounds or symbols until they are charged with meaning. It is the belief behind them, the conviction with which they are spoken, that transforms them into forces capable of moving hearts and minds. Without that inner certainty, even the most profound statements fall flat. When you speak, the world doesn't just listen to your words, it listens to your heart, your energy, your authenticity. Speaking with conviction means more than just raising your voice or choosing the right vocabulary. It's about embodying what you say so fully that your words and your being are one and the same. It's about standing firm in what you believe, so that every sentence carries the weight of your truth. People can sense when someone is speaking from a place of doubt or insincerity. Words spoken without belief are like arrows without tips. They may fly, but they fail to penetrate. On the other hand, words delivered with conviction cut through noise, leaving a mark that lingers long after they've been spoken. To speak with conviction, you must first believe in what you're saying. That belief comes from knowing yourself, knowing your values, your principles, and your truth. When your words stem from this foundation, they carry an authenticity that cannot be faked. You don't need to overcompensate or dress your statements in flowery language. Simplicity becomes powerful when it's spoken with absolute certainty. A quiet, assured tone can have more impact than the loudest shout when it comes from someone who truly believes in what they're saying. Conviction also requires emotional alignment. It's not just about knowing the right thing to say, it's about feeling it deeply. People are emotional beings. They respond not only to logic but to the energy behind the words. If your emotions and your words are in harmony, your message becomes irresistible. Think of great orators, leaders, or even close friends who've inspired you. Their words resonated because they came from a place of deep emotional connection to what they were expressing. Their conviction wasn't just intellectual, it was visceral. Conviction doesn't mean stubbornness or an unwillingness to listen. Speaking with conviction is not about dominating a conversation or imposing your views on others. It's about presenting your truth in a way that invites others to engage with it. Conviction is confident, but it's also respectful. It doesn't shout down dissent, it holds steady in the face of it. When you speak with conviction, you don't need to defend yourself with aggression or defensive. Your belief in your words is enough. Your body and voice are also essential tools in conveying conviction. How you say something is often just as important as what you say. A steady tone, deliberate pacing, and confident posture all communicate that you mean what you're saying. Hesitations, nervous laughter, or looking away as you speak can undermine even the strongest words. Practice aligning your physical presence with your message. Stand tall, make eye contact, and use your voice as an instrument to convey not just words but meaning. Speaking with conviction also means being willing to stand alone if necessary. Conviction often requires courage. There will be times when what you have to say is unpopular or challenges the status quo. In those moments, it's easy to falter, to soften your stance, or to remain silent. But true conviction means staying true to your beliefs, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about valuing your truth over the fear of judgment. When you stand firm in what you believe, others will respect you, even if they don't agree with you. One of the most remarkable aspects of conviction is its contagiousness. When you speak with genuine belief, you invite others to believe too. Your words have the power to ignite something in others, to awaken possibilities they hadn't considered. Conviction inspires trust because it signals that you're not merely speaking for the sake of speaking, you're offering something real, something worth considering. People are drawn to certainty in a world full of ambiguity. Your conviction can become a guiding light for those who are unsure. Conviction is not something you can force. It grows from practice and experience. It's built through moments of doubt and failure, where you've had to reaffirm what you stand for. Each time you choose to speak your truth, even when it's difficult, your conviction deepens. Over time, it becomes second nature, an unshakable foundation that strengthens every word you speak. When you speak with conviction, you don't just communicate, you create. You shape perceptions, inspire actions, and leave a legacy. Your words become more than sounds, they become a force that moves the world. So when you speak, let every word come from the core of who you are. Let your belief in what you say transform your message into something unforgettable. In doing so, you'll not only be heard, you'll be remembered. Understanding the mind of a man isn't about manipulation or trying to control his actions. It's about seeking genuine connection through insight into what drives him, what he values, and what he fears. Men, like all humans, are complex beings shaped by experiences, expectations, and inner desires. To truly connect with and understand them, you must approach with empathy, self-respect, and a willingness to see beyond the surface. This isn't a game of power. It's about building a bridge of understanding that aligns his values with your own self-worth. Men often value respect deeply, sometimes even above love. Respect, to a man, is more than just admiration. It's a sense of being seen and acknowledged for who he is and what he stands for. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or does, but it does mean recognizing his efforts, dreams, and contributions without diminishing them. When a man feels respected, he opens up in ways that reveal his true nature. Respect creates a safe space where he can express vulnerability, a quality that society often teaches him to suppress. Respect must be mutual. This is where your self-worth becomes essential. If you sacrifice your boundaries or compromise your values to gain his respect or attention, the foundation becomes unstable. True understanding starts with valuing yourself. When you know your worth, you communicate it without needing to say a word. Men are naturally drawn to women who carry themselves with confidence and self-assurance. It's not about arrogance, it's about holding yourself to a standard that invites him to rise to meet you. Men also value trust, but trust isn't just about fidelity, it's about emotional security. A man needs to feel that he can be himself without fear of judgment or ridicule. This doesn't mean you should excuse harmful behavior, but it does mean creating an environment where he can be honest without fear of losing your respect. Trust is built over time through consistent actions and open communication. If a man feels safe enough to show his flaws and share his fears, you've tapped into a part of him that few others may see. It's equally important to understand that men often communicate differently than women. Where women may be more inclined to express feelings through words, men may do so through actions. A man's silence doesn't always mean disinterest or detachment sometimes. It's his way of processing emotions or finding solutions. Patience and attentiveness are crucial here. Instead of jumping to conclusions, observe his actions and listen when he's ready to speak. Understanding his communication style can prevent misunderstandings and deepen your connection. Another key to understanding men is recognizing what motivates them. Men often derive a sense of identity and purpose from their ability to provide, achieve, or protect. This doesn't necessarily mean financial provision. It can also mean offering emotional support or physical security. A man wants to feel needed, but not in a way that diminishes his partner's independence. It's about balance, letting him know his contributions matter without losing your own strength and autonomy. Acknowledging his need for autonomy is another essential aspect. Men value their independence and often need space to recharge, reflect, or pursue their goals. This isn't a sign of rejection, it's part of how many men maintain balance in their lives. Giving a man the freedom to be himself, while maintaining your own individuality, creates a dynamic where both of you can grow together without feeling constrained. Understanding this need for space shows that you respect his boundaries and trust the foundation of your relationship. On a deeper level, men crave connection just as much as women do, though they may express it differently. Beneath the surface, many men fear failure, inadequacy, or not being enough. When you understand this, you can approach interactions with compassion rather than frustration. Encouraging a man during his moments of doubt, reminding him of his strengths, and being a steady presence in his life can create a bond that is unbreakable. But remember, this support must be reciprocal. If he doesn't offer the same understanding and encouragement in return, the relationship becomes one-sided, and your worth must guide you to reassess. Understanding the mind of a man starts with understanding yourself. When you know your values, boundaries, and goals, you create a foundation that can't be shaken. From this place of strength, you can engage with him not as someone trying to fix or change him, but as an equal who seeks connection and understanding. Men respect and cherish women who are unapologetically themselves because it challenges them to bring their best selves to the table. This is not about bending yourself to fit his needs or expectations. It's about aligning what he values with the unshakable truth of your self-worth. When you approach a man from a place of understanding and confidence, you create a dynamic where both of you can thrive. It's not manipulation, it's connection. And that connection, built on mutual respect and understanding, is what lasts. Confidence is a force that radiates from within, shaping how others perceive you, and more importantly, how you perceive yourself. It's not about being loud or overbearing, but about standing firm in your identity, values, and purpose. Confidence over conformity means resisting the urge to change who you are to fit someone else's expectations or ideals. It means choosing authenticity over approval, strength over submission, and self-respect over shallow acceptance. Too often, people fall into the trap of conforming to what they think others want. They suppress their individuality, silence their opinions, and reshape their behavior to fit a mold that doesn't belong to them. While this may win temporary acceptance, it comes at the cost of self-worth. The truth is, trying to be someone you're not is exhausting and unsustainable. It creates a facade that may attract attention, but it will never inspire genuine respect or admiration. Confidence begins with knowing who you are and what you stand for. This self-awareness is the foundation of all authentic connections. When you are confident, you don't need to seek validation from others because you carry an unshakable belief in your worth. You know that you are enough just as you are. This belief frees you from the need to conform to societal pressures or personal expectations that don't align with your true self. Being confident doesn't mean being perfect. In fact, it means embracing your imperfections and owning your flaws. Confidence is about accepting all parts of yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures. When you stop trying to hide or fix everything you think is wrong with you, you free yourself from the constant need to seek approval. Instead, you project authenticity, which is far more attractive and inspiring than any facade of perfection. The power of confidence lies in its ability to set boundaries. When you know your worth, you won't settle for less than you deserve. Whether in relationships, career, or life in general, you'll have the courage to say no to situations and people that don't honor your values. Conformity often stems from a fear of rejection, but confidence reminds you that rejection is not the end of the world. It's simply a redirection towards something better suited to your true self. Confidence over conformity also means standing firm in your beliefs and choices, even when they go against the grain. It's easy to follow the crowd, to agree with popular opinions, or to do what's expected of you. But confidence requires courage, the courage to be different, to speak your truth, and to live authentically. This courage can be intimidating to others, but it's also what makes you unforgettable. People are drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves because it challenges them to do the same. True confidence isn't about dominating others or proving your superiority. It's about quiet assurance, a calm and steady belief in your abilities and purpose. This type of confidence doesn't shout for attention, it simply exists, unshaken by external opinions or circumstances. It's the kind of confidence that says, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it. Confidence is magnetic because it's rare. In a world where so many people conform to fit in, those who dare to be themselves stand out effortlessly. They don't chase approval because they don't need it. Instead, they inspire respect and admiration simply by being who they are. This authenticity is what makes confidence so powerful. It's not about impressing others, but about expressing your true self. Confidence requires maintenance. It's not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing process of self-discovery and growth. Life will challenge your confidence, testing your resolve and pushing you to question yourself. In these moments, it's crucial to reconnect with your inner truth. Remind yourself of your strengths, revisit your values, and reaffirm your worth. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Choosing confidence over conformity also means embracing vulnerability. Confidence isn't about pretending you have it all figured out. It's about being honest about your journey. It's about showing up as you are, flaws and all, and trusting that you are enough. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a testament to your strength and authenticity. When you allow yourself to be seen fully, you inspire others to do the same. Confidence over conformity is about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the need to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. It's about living a life that feels true to who you are, rather than one dictated by the expectations of others. When you choose confidence, you choose yourself. And when you choose yourself, you become a force to be reckoned with, someone who commands respect, inspires change, and leaves a lasting impact simply by being authentic. The power of your presence, your voice, and your actions comes from your authenticity. Confidence isn't just about how you look or what you achieve, it's about who you are and how deeply you believe in yourself. When you stand in your truth, the world takes notice. You don't need to conform to earn approval. Your confidence is more than enough. And with that unshakable self-assurance, you can face any challenge, win any heart, and achieve any dream. Scarcity is a powerful force in human psychology. It shapes how people perceive value and dictates how they prioritize their attention and efforts. What's easily available is often taken for granted, while what feels rare or elusive becomes the focus of desire. This principle applies to relationships, opportunities, and nearly every aspect of life. When you master the art of creating scarcity, you elevate your worth in the eyes of others, making yourself a treasure to be earned rather than something freely available to all. The first step in embodying scarcity is recognizing your intrinsic value. You are not just anyone, you are unique with qualities, experiences, and strengths that no one else possesses. But if you don't treat yourself like something special, why should anyone else? Making yourself a mystery starts with holding yourself to a standard that demands respect. This doesn't mean being aloof or unkind. It means being selective about how you share your time, energy, and attention. Being scarce doesn't mean playing games or intentionally making yourself unavailable in a manipulative way. Instead, it's about prioritizing your well-being and recognizing that not everyone deserves access to you. Your time and energy are finite resources, and how you allocate them sends a message about your worth. When you spread yourself too thin or make yourself overly accessible, people may begin to undervalue your presence. But when you set boundaries and choose carefully who gets to be part of your life, you project confidence and self-respect. Part of creating scarcity lies in the art of mystery. Mystery captivates because it leaves people wanting to know more. It's the intrigue of the unknown that fuels curiosity and desire. Being a mystery doesn't mean hiding who you are, but rather sharing yourself in layers. Don't reveal everything about yourself all at once. Let others earn the privilege of knowing you deeply. This gradual unveiling creates a sense of discovery and keeps the connection dynamic and exciting. Scarcity also means knowing when to step back. Overexposure can dilute your impact. When you're constantly available, whether in conversations, social settings, or relationships, your presence can lose its novelty. By occasionally stepping away and giving others the space to miss you, you allow your absence to speak as powerfully as your presence. This doesn't mean disappearing entirely, but rather finding a balance that keeps interactions meaningful and purposeful. Another crucial aspect of scarcity is cultivating your independence. People are drawn to those who have their own lives, passions, and goals. When you are self-sufficient and focused on your growth, you naturally become more desirable. Independence sends the message that you are not reliant on others for your happiness or validation, which in turn makes people value their connection with you even more. It's a paradox. The less you seem to need others, the more they want to be around you. Scarcity doesn't mean rejecting vulnerability. In fact, vulnerability, when shared wisely, can deepen connections and create lasting bonds. The key is to be intentional about who you allow to see your vulnerable side. Not everyone is deserving of your full trust, and choosing carefully who gets to witness your authenticity only amplifies its value. When you share your deeper self selectively, it reinforces the idea that your inner world is a rare and precious gift. The concept of scarcity also applies to the way you communicate. Words, when used sparingly and thoughtfully, carry more weight. If you're always quick to respond, always explaining, or always available, your words can lose their impact. But when you speak with intention, when your words carry meaning and aren't offered frivolously, people are more likely to listen and value what you say. Similarly, actions that are deliberate and purposeful resonate more deeply than those done without thought. One of the most powerful ways to embody scarcity is by staying focused on your journey. People are naturally drawn to those who are driven by their own purpose. When you're dedicated to your growth, passions, and goals, you have magnetic energy that's hard to ignore. You become the kind of person others want to be around, not because you're chasing them, but because you're chasing something greater. This focus on yourself reinforces the idea that your time and attention are valuable and must be earned. Scarcity is not about being cold, distant, or unapproachable. It's about balance, knowing when to give and when to withhold, when to connect and when to step back. It's about valuing yourself so much that others can't help but value you too. It's about creating a dynamic where your presence feels like a privilege, not a given. Scarcity breeds desire because it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. When people see that you are not easily swayed, that you hold yourself to a higher standard, and that your time and attention are precious, they begin to see you in a new light. You become someone worth pursuing, worth cherishing, and worth holding on to. And that's the kind of power that changes how the world responds to you. The word no is one of the simplest yet most transformative tools a woman can wield in her life, particularly in relationships. When spoken with conviction and clarity, it carries immense power. And when paired with more, as in no more, it becomes a declaration of self-worth, a boundary drawn in the sand, and a command for respect that cannot be ignored. These two words can shift the dynamics of any relationship, whether romantic, professional, or platonic, because they signal the end of compromise where it undermines dignity and the beginning of standing in your truth. At its core, no more is an act of reclaiming agency. Too often, women are conditioned to be accommodating, to put others' needs ahead of their own, or to avoid conflict at the expense of their own well-being. Saying no more breaks that cycle. It's a refusal to accept mistreatment, neglect, or anything less than what aligns with one's values and self-respect. It's not about being confrontational or combative, it's about asserting that you matter, that your voice matters, and that your boundaries will no longer be crossed. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love, and no more is the ultimate expression of those boundaries. Boundaries protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They're not about keeping people out, but about ensuring that those who are allowed in treat you with care and respect. Without boundaries, relationships can become draining, one-sided, or even toxic. No more draws a clear line, signaling that you will no longer tolerate behavior that diminishes your worth. This phrase also commands respect in a way that few other words can. Respect is not something that can be begged for or demanded without merit, it is earned. However, the act of firmly stating no more inherently earns respect because it demonstrates strength, self-awareness, and the courage to stand up for yourself. Even if the other person doesn't immediately appreciate or agree with your stance, they cannot ignore the resolve it takes to say it. No more shifts the power dynamic in any relationship. In situations where one person has been taking more than they give, this phrase disrupts the imbalance. It forces reflection and accountability. It says, I am no longer available for your convenience, your excuses, or your half-hearted efforts. This isn't about revenge or retribution. It's about recalibrating the relationship to one of mutual respect and reciprocity. If the other person cannot rise to meet those standards, no more becomes the closing chapter of a relationship that no longer serves you. The power of no more extends beyond personal relationships and into every facet of life. In the workplace, it can mean refusing to accept being overworked and undervalued. In friendships, it can mean stepping away from those who drain your energy without giving back. In family dynamics, it can mean breaking free from patterns of guilt or obligation that stifle your growth. In every context, these words represent a commitment to your own well-being and the recognition that you deserve better. Saying no more is not always easy. It requires self-reflection to recognize when you've been compromising, too much courage to confront the situation, and resilience to stand by your decision. It may be met with resistance, anger, or attempts to manipulate you into backing down. But staying firm in your resolve is a testament to your strength and belief in your worth. It's a reminder that you are not responsible for how others react to your boundaries. You are only responsible for honoring yourself. This act of setting limits can also be incredibly freeing. When you say no more, you free yourself from the burden of tolerating what no longer aligns with your values or serves your growth. You make space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships and opportunities. You reclaim the time and energy that were once spent on things that drained you, redirecting them toward what truly matters. The beauty of no more is that it's not just an ending, it's a beginning. It's the start of a new chapter where you prioritize your needs, values, and happiness. It's a declaration that you will no longer settle for less than what you deserve. And as you practice this in various aspects of your life, you build a sense of confidence and self-assurance that radiates outward, attracting people and opportunities that align with your newfound standards. The power of no more lies in its simplicity and clarity. It doesn't require elaborate explanations or justifications. It doesn't invite debate. It is a statement of fact, a line drawn in the sand, and a promise to yourself that you will honor your worth. These two words can change your life, not because they force others to change, but because they empower you to take control of your own narrative. When you say no more, you are not just setting a boundary, you are reclaiming your power. The true power of no more lies in its ability to transform how you see yourself and how others see you. It's a declaration that you are no longer available for anything less than respect, love, and reciprocity. It sets the tone for how you expect to be treated and creates space for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that align with your worth. These two words are not just about boundaries, they are about liberation, empowerment, and reclaiming the narrative of your life. So when the moment calls for it, let these words flow from a place of confidence and self-love. Speak them with the knowledge that they honor your value and create a path toward the life you truly deserve. Thank you for embracing this journey of self-respect and strength. Your time, attention, and commitment to growth are deeply appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, not with your ears, but with the depths of your being. The truth is this: everyone who enters your life will one day leave. The hands you hold today may not always be there to hold yours tomorrow. But do not despair, for this is the way of life. It is not a curse, but a sacred design to awaken you to the infinite power within. The world teaches you to fear being alone. But I tell you, this solitude is not loneliness, it is the gateway to discovering who you truly are. When others walk away, they do not take your strength with them. They leave behind an empty space, a space you must fill with your own light. Stop chasing those who no longer wish to stay. Understand that their departure is not your loss, but your liberation. It is life whispering to you, turn inward, for there is a treasure here that you have overlooked. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the one you cultivate with yourself. When you rely on the external world to validate your worth, you are like a tree without roots, swayed by every wind. But when you root yourself in the infinite power of your mind, you become immovable. Begin now to see yourself as whole, even when others leave. Speak to yourself as though you are your greatest love, your most trusted ally. I am enough, you declare. And in that declaration, you will find all that you have ever sought in others. Solitude is not the absence of others, it is the presence of self. When you learn to survive alone, you awaken to a deeper truth: you were never truly alone. The infinite spirit within you is your constant companion, your unfailing guide. So do not fear when people leave. Release them with gratitude, for they have fulfilled their role in your story. And as they go, turn your gaze inward. There, in the quiet depths of your being, you will find the strength to not just survive, but to flourish. Life is a river, ever flowing and ever changing. The people, places, and moments that come into our lives are like ripples on the surface of that river, beautiful, fleeting, and impossible to hold. Yet we often find ourselves clinging to these ripples, desperate to freeze them in time, longing for them to remain exactly as they are. This attachment to permanence, to the illusion that things will stay the same, is the root of much of our suffering. Consider the relationships we cherish. When we love someone, we often wish for that connection to remain untouched by the tides of change. We imagine that love will always feel as it does in its most tender moments, that the bond will never fray, and that the person we care for will never leave. But people are not static beings. They grow, evolve, and sometimes drift away. To resist this truth is to resist the very nature of life. The same applies to our circumstances. When we achieve success, we want to hold on to it forever. When we experience joy, we want it to linger. But success can fade, and joy is as impermanent as the clouds in the sky. Seasons change, opportunities come and go, and even the brightest days eventually give way to night. This is not a flaw in the design of life, it is its essence. By clinging to what is transient, we set ourselves up for heartache. We grasp at relationships, possessions, and experiences, trying to keep them from slipping through our fingers. Yet the tighter we hold on, the more we feel the sting of loss when they inevitably change or fade away. Life does not offer guarantees, and nothing in this world is meant to remain exactly as it is. But herein lies an extraordinary truth. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we free ourselves from the chains of suffering. To see life as it truly is, a series of moments, each unique and irreplaceable, is to understand its profound beauty. Instead of clinging to what was or worrying about what might be, we can learn to live fully in the present, appreciating each moment for the gift that it is. Growth often comes from the very impermanence we resist. When a relationship ends, it may hurt deeply, but it also creates space for new connections, new lessons, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we lose something we value, it forces us to reassess what truly matters and to find strength we didn't know we had. Loss is not the end, it is a doorway to transformation. The world around us mirrors this truth. The seasons shift, flowers bloom and wither, the sun rises and sets. Nature does not mourn these changes, it embraces them as part of a greater cycle. In the same way, we are meant to flow with life, not against it. To cling to permanence is to deny ourselves the richness of life's ebb and flow. This does not mean we should become indifferent or detached. Loving deeply and cherishing what we have are integral parts of the human experience. But true love, whether for a person, a moment, or a dream, does not demand permanence. It understands that the beauty of something lies in its impermanence. A sunset is breathtaking precisely because it does not last forever. A flower's fragility is what makes it precious. Learning to let go is not about giving up, it is about trusting the process of life. It is about understanding that when one door closes, another opens. It is about realizing that we are never truly losing, we are simply transitioning from one chapter to the next. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we become more resilient. We stop fearing change and start welcoming it as an opportunity for growth. We no longer see endings as failures but as natural progressions. We begin to find joy not in holding on but in experiencing life fully, moment by moment. Letting go of the illusion of permanence is not easy. It requires courage to face uncertainty and faith to believe that what lies ahead will serve our highest good. But as we release our grip on what was and surrender to what is, we discover a profound sense of peace. We learn to trust that life, in all its impermanence, is guiding us exactly where we need to be. So let the river of life flow freely. Cherish the ripples as they come, but do not mourn their passing. Each moment, fleeting as it may be, holds its own unique beauty. By embracing the impermanence of life, we unlock the door to true freedom, growth, and a deeper appreciation for the ever-changing dance of existence. Within each of us lies a realm untouched by the chaos of the outside world, a sanctuary that holds the essence of who we truly are. This inner reality is the seat of our strength, the wellspring from which all that we desire and all that we are flows. Yet so often we seek validation, fulfillment, and peace from external sources, believing that our happiness depends on circumstances, people, or possessions. In doing so, we overlook the boundless power within us, the power to shape our lives, transform our experiences, and anchor ourselves in unwavering peace. Your imagination is not just a tool for idle daydreaming, it is the architect of your reality. Every thought, every vision you hold within your mind carries the potential to manifest in the world around you. When you learn to dwell in the sanctuary of your imagination, crafting thoughts and images that align with your deepest desires, you awaken a creative force that can move mountains. What you consistently imagine with conviction becomes the blueprint for your life. The outer world is but a reflection of the inner, therefore, by mastering your inner reality, you gain mastery over your external circumstances. Yet this power is often underestimated or misunderstood. Many believe that change must come from exerting control over the physical world, from pushing, striving, and battling against perceived obstacles. But the truth is far simpler and infinitely more profound. The world you experience is a mirror of your inner state. If you carry turmoil within, it will manifest as chaos around you. If you nurture peace and abundance within, your external reality will echo that harmony. Building a life rooted in inner peace begins with recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your experience. This realization is liberating. No longer do you need to wait for the world to grant you permission to be happy, successful, or fulfilled. You hold that power within you at every moment. The key is to turn inward, to cultivate a relationship with your inner self, and to consciously choose thoughts and feelings that uplift and empower you. Inner peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to remain centered and unshaken amidst them. It is the calm in the storm, the unwavering light that guides you through the darkest times. To access this peace, you must learn to quiet the noise of the external world and listen to the still, small voice within. Meditation, reflection, and deliberate imagination are powerful practices that help you connect with this inner sanctuary. As you spend more time in this sacred space, you will find that the opinions of others, the fluctuations of fortune, and the uncertainties of life lose their grip on you. Your inner reality is also a place of limitless potential. In this realm, there are no boundaries, no restrictions, and no limitations. You can envision yourself as the person you wish to become, living the life you dream of. And as you hold that vision with faith and persistence, it begins to take form in the physical world. This is not wishful thinking, it is the natural law of creation. Just as a seed, when nurtured, grows into a tree, so too does a thought, when sustained, grow into reality. But to harness the power of your inner reality, you must be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain. Doubt, fear, and negativity can creep in, distorting the visions you hold and undermining your creative power. To guard against this, make a habit of focusing on what you desire rather than what you fear. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, and trust in your ability to create the life you envision. It is also vital to approach this process with patience and trust. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seeds to check their growth, you must not doubt the seeds of thought you plant in your imagination. Trust that the unseen forces of life are working on your behalf, aligning circumstances, opportunities, and people to bring your vision to fruition. The more you dwell in the sanctuary of your inner reality, the less you will depend on the world around you to dictate your sense of self-worth and happiness. You will become unshakable, rooted in the knowledge that everything you need is already within you. This is true freedom, the ability to navigate life with confidence, knowing that you are the master of your destiny, the creator of your experience. As you cultivate this inner strength, you will find that your outer world begins to shift in ways that seem almost magical. Opportunities will arise, challenges will dissolve, and relationships will flourish. This is the power of inner reality. It transforms not only your perception but also your experience of life. And in this transformation, you will discover a profound truth: the peace, joy, and fulfillment you have sought were never outside of you, they were within you all along. True freedom begins when you realize that everything you need to feel whole, content, and fulfilled already resides within you. Yet so much of life is spent seeking validation, security, and happiness from external sources, whether through relationships, possessions, or social approval. This dependence, while often comforting in the moment, slowly erodes your spirit. It creates a cycle of reliance where your sense of well-being hinges on factors beyond your control. But when you cultivate self-sufficiency, you reclaim your power. You discover that liberation is not found in others, but in your ability to stand firm within yourself. Dependence on others, while natural to a degree, becomes detrimental when it dictates your happiness or self-worth. When you rely on external forces to provide fulfillment, you surrender your autonomy and tether yourself to the ever-changing tides of life. People may leave, circumstances may shift, and possessions may fade, leaving you vulnerable and unanchored. To build a life rooted in self-sufficiency is to anchor yourself in something unshakable, your own inner strength and resilience. Self-sufficiency does not mean isolation or rejecting help from others. It is not about closing yourself off from meaningful connections or refusing the beauty of shared experiences. Rather, it is about ensuring that your foundation is strong enough to withstand any storm. It is the ability to find joy in solitude, to pursue your goals without waiting for approval, and to trust in your capacity to navigate life's challenges on your own terms. The journey towards self-sufficiency begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize the areas where you have outsourced your power. Perhaps you seek constant reassurance from others, feeling uneasy when left alone. Maybe you derive your self-worth from external achievements, needing accolades or recognition to feel valuable. Or you might rely on material possessions to create a sense of security. Identifying these dependencies is the first step to breaking free from them. Once you've recognized your patterns, the next step is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking to others to fill emotional voids, turn to yourself. Ask yourself what truly makes you happy, not what you've been told should make you happy. Spend time exploring your passions, cultivating your skills, and nurturing your inner world. As you invest in yourself, you'll find that the need for external validation diminishes. You become your own source of fulfillment. Building self-sufficiency also requires embracing solitude. Many people fear being alone, associating it with loneliness or a lack of connection. But solitude is not something to fear, it is a sacred space where you can reconnect with yourself. In solitude, you gain clarity about who you are and what you want. You learn to enjoy your own company and to draw strength from within. When you are comfortable being alone, you become less dependent on the presence of others to feel complete. Another key aspect of self-sufficiency is cultivating emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. But when you depend solely on others to help you navigate difficulties, you weaken your ability to cope on your own. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity with grace, to adapt to change, and to find strength in the midst of uncertainty. It comes from trusting your capacity to overcome obstacles, no matter how daunting they may seem. Financial independence is another important component of self-sufficiency. When you rely on others for financial support, you limit your freedom to make choices and live on your own terms. By taking control of your financial well-being, you create opportunities for yourself and gain the confidence that comes with knowing you can stand on your own 2 feet. This doesn't mean you have to achieve wealth overnight. It means taking intentional steps toward managing your resources wisely and building a life that aligns with your values. At its core, self-sufficiency is about empowerment. It is about recognizing that you are enough, that you have within you everything you need to create a life of meaning and purpose. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of dependency and reclaiming your autonomy. This liberation is not only a gift to yourself but also to others. When you are self-sufficient, you can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You can give without expecting in return and love without fear of loss because you are not dependent on others to complete you. The path to self-sufficiency is not always easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires courage to face your fears, determination to build your strengths, and faith in your ability to create a fulfilling life. But as you take each step, you will feel a profound sense of freedom. You will no longer be bound by the actions or opinions of others. You will no longer fear being alone, because you will know that you are never truly alone. You have yourself. And that is enough. In this state of liberation, you will discover a truth that transforms your life. Fulfillment is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you create within. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you unlock the power to live with purpose, peace, and unshakable confidence. And that, above all else, is true freedom. Rejection often feels like a sharp and painful blow to the heart. It stirs feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and sometimes even despair. But what if rejection is not an end but a profound redirection? What if it is life's way of guiding you toward a higher purpose, one that you could not have reached if the door you were clinging to had not closed? To see rejection as redirection is to shift your perspective, recognizing that what feels like loss is often the seed of transformation. When people leave your life, it can feel like a betrayal or a failure. We naturally form attachments, seeking comfort and stability in relationships. However, not all connections are meant to last forever. Some people enter your life for a season, playing a role in your growth before their part in your story concludes. Their departure, while painful, creates space for new opportunities, lessons and relationships that align more closely with your journey. Life operates in ways that often defy immediate understanding. In the moment, it is hard to see the larger picture or the reasons behind certain events. But with time and reflection, patterns emerge, revealing how rejection or loss was a necessary part of your evolution. Perhaps a breakup led you to discover your own strength and independence. Maybe being passed over for a job opened the door to an opportunity that was far more fulfilling. What appears as rejection is often a nudge, or sometimes a shove in a direction that better serves your growth and potential. Rejection also teaches resilience. Each time you face the pain of being turned away or let go, you have the choice to rise stronger. It is an opportunity to reaffirm your self-worth independent of others' opinions or decisions. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your inadequacy, view it as a sign that something better awaits you. The process of overcoming rejection builds character, teaching you patience, perseverance, and trust in the unfolding of life. The transformation often begins in the shadow of loss. When familiar structures or relationships crumble, you are forced to confront yourself in a way that comfort and stability never demanded. You are invited to explore who you are without the roles, titles, or connections that once defined you. This exploration can be uncomfortable, even frightening, but it is also liberating. It is in these moments of uncertainty that you discover new facets of yourself, strengths, passions, and dreams that were hidden beneath the surface. The pain of rejection also encourages introspection. It prompts you to ask meaningful questions. Was this person, job, or situation truly aligned with who I am and what I want? What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow and move forward? These questions lead to deeper self-awareness, helping you make choices that are more authentic and intentional. In this way, rejection becomes a teacher, guiding you to greater clarity about your values and goals. Rejection often protects you from paths that are not meant for you. It may close doors to relationships or opportunities that, had they continued, might have caused more harm than good. While it's difficult to accept this truth in the moment, hindsight often reveals how rejection saved you from settling for less than you deserve. Trusting this process requires faith in life's wisdom and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. When you embrace rejection as redirection, you also learn to let go of resistance. Clinging to people or situations that are trying to leave your life only prolongs your pain. Instead, release them with gratitude for the role they played in your journey. This act of letting go is not a sign of weakness but of courage and wisdom. It shows that you trust life to guide you towards something greater. The transformation that follows rejection is not immediate. It requires patience and an open heart. There will be moments of doubt, sadness, and longing, but these emotions are part of the healing process. As you move through them, you begin to notice the gifts hidden within the experience. You may find new opportunities, meet people who inspire and uplift you, or uncover a deeper sense of purpose. Each step forward reinforces the truth that rejection is not the end, it is a beginning. Rejection, then, is a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. It forces you to step out of your comfort zone, confront your fears, and embrace change. It challenges you to redefine what success, love, and fulfillment mean to you. And most importantly, it redirects you toward paths that are in alignment with your highest potential. When you look back on moments of rejection, you may realize that they were some of the most pivotal points in your life. They pushed you to grow, to evolve, and to become more fully yourself. What initially felt like loss transformed into gain, and what seemed like an ending became a new beginning. In embracing rejection as redirection, you cultivate a profound trust in life's process. You learn to see challenges as opportunities, losses as lessons, and endings as doorways to new beginnings. This perspective empowers you to move forward with courage and hope, knowing that even in the face of rejection, life is always working for your highest good. In a world that is constantly moving, filled with noise, distractions, and the demands of daily life, solitude can often be misunderstood. Many view solitude as a form of punishment, a state to be avoided at all costs. The idea of being alone can bring discomfort, fear, or even anxiety. We've been conditioned to believe that being surrounded by people, engaging in constant activity, or staying busy is a measure of success or happiness. Yet the truth is, solitude is not a punishment, it is a sacred gift, a space where you can reconnect with your true essence, find clarity, and rediscover the peace and strength that lies within. When you embrace solitude, you step away from the external chaos that often clouds your mind and your emotions. In silence, you can hear your own thoughts, your own heart. Without the interference of others' opinions or the noise of the world, you can tune in to what is truly important to you. Solitude provides a rare opportunity for introspection. It allows you to sift through your emotions, your desires, and your dreams. Without the pressure to conform to societal expectations or please others, you are free to be yourself, to truly understand who you are, what you want, and where you're going. You can shed the roles you play for others, the friend, the colleague, the partner, the parent, and return to your most authentic self. It's in these quiet moments that you can strip away the layers of external influence that often mask your true nature. You begin to rediscover the dreams, passions, and values that may have been overshadowed by the demands of everyday life. Solitude allows you to connect with your inner wisdom, the part of you that knows what is best for your journey, your growth, and your happiness. Solitude is also a powerful tool for healing. In a world that encourages constant activity and distraction, it can be easy to ignore emotional wounds or unresolved issues. But in the stillness of solitude, you can face these challenges without the pressure of external distractions. It's a space where you can reflect, process, and release the emotional baggage that you may have been carrying. Solitude gives you the space to let go of the past, to forgive yourself and others, and to make peace with your experiences. It provides the necessary time to heal, rebuild, and restore your energy and emotional well-being. The fear of being alone often stems from a deep-rooted belief that solitude equals loneliness. However, loneliness is not the same as solitude. Loneliness arises when we feel disconnected from others and from ourselves, while solitude is the conscious choice to be alone in order to reconnect with our inner self. Loneliness is the absence of connection, but solitude is the presence of self-awareness. When you learn to be at peace with your own company, you stop fearing solitude. Instead of seeking external validation or the presence of others to feel complete, you find wholeness within. In this way, solitude becomes a source of strength rather than something to fear. You also learn to trust yourself. The constant noise and distractions of daily life can often drown out your own voice, leaving you unsure of your decisions and your direction. But when you are alone, you are forced to rely on your own judgment, to trust your own intuition, and to make decisions based on your true desires, rather than on the expectations or opinions of others. Solitude gives you the clarity and confidence to follow your own path, unapologetically and without hesitation. Many people fear that they will miss out on life if they spend time alone. They worry that solitude will cause them to become disconnected from the world, but the opposite is true. Solitude enhances your connection to the world by first deepening your connection to yourself. When you are centered and at peace within, you bring a higher level of awareness and presence to your interactions with others. You are no longer seeking fulfillment from external sources, but rather from your own wellspring of peace, love, and understanding. This inner peace radiates outward, enhancing your relationships and your ability to engage with the world in a meaningful way. Solitude offers the opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is in these quiet moments that you can explore new ideas, develop new passions, and cultivate your creativity. When you are not constantly distracted by the demands of others or the noise of the world, you give your mind the space to innovate, reflect, and expand. It is in solitude that you can listen to the quiet whispers of your soul, the ones that often get drowned out by the chaos of daily life. These whispers guide you toward your higher purpose, your truest self. It also teaches you self-discipline and patience. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, the stillness of solitude requires a certain level of patience and acceptance. It teaches you to be comfortable with the ebb and flow of life, to trust that everything will unfold in its own time. In solitude, you cultivate the ability to be present with yourself, to sit with your thoughts, to allow your emotions to rise and fall without judgment. and to embrace the moments of stillness rather than seeking constant action. It is a sacred practice, a gift that allows you to reconnect with your true essence. It is a space where you can find clarity, healing, and strength. It is a time to rediscover your passions, to nurture your creativity, and to listen to the wisdom that resides within you. By embracing solitude, you come to realize that you are never truly alone, for you carry the entirety of your being within you, and that in itself is a source of limitless peace and power. Surviving alone is often thought of as a matter of physical endurance, how long you can last without help, how well you can provide for yourself, and how capable you are of managing your immediate needs. However, true survival, especially in moments of solitude, is far less about physical strength and much more about mental resilience. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It shapes your experiences, your perception of reality, and ultimately your ability to thrive. If you want to survive and flourish in solitude, you must first master your mind. In times of challenge, your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can either empower you to overcome obstacles, or it can fill you with doubt, fear, and negativity. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle often lies in their ability to control their thoughts and emotions. The key is to recognize that your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly focus on what you lack, on the things that are missing from your life, your mind will align with scarcity. But if you train your mind to focus on abundance, on the endless possibilities and resources available to you, you will open the door to growth and success. Abundance is not just about material wealth or external circumstances, it is a mindset. It is the belief that no matter what your external circumstances may be, you are always capable of creating more. When you focus on abundance, you are aligning your thoughts with the idea that there is more than enough for you to succeed and prosper. This mindset shifts your energy from fear and limitation to possibility and opportunity. You begin to see that everything you need is already within you, and the universe is constantly presenting you with ways to grow, evolve, and thrive. On the other hand, focusing on lack keeps you trapped in a cycle of scarcity. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you don't have enough, whether that's money, love, support, or resources. This mindset clouds your vision and limits your potential. The more you dwell on what's missing, the more you attract experiences that reinforce that feeling of lack. You begin to believe that survival depends on external factors, on people or circumstances that are beyond your control. But the truth is that true survival is rooted in mental resilience, in your ability to focus your mind on what is possible rather than what is not. One of the first steps in mastering your mind is learning to control your thoughts. This means recognizing when negative or limiting thoughts arise and actively choosing to replace them with positive, empowering ones. It's easy to let your mind spiral into fear, worry, and self-doubt. But with practice, you can train your mind to let go of these destructive patterns and replace them with thoughts that support your growth. When you catch yourself thinking about what you don't have, pause and shift your focus to what you do have. Instead of thinking, "I don't have enough time," tell yourself, "I have all the time I need to accomplish my goals." This simple shift in perspective helps you to step into a mindset of abundance. A key aspect of mastering your mind is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful, and they can either fuel your growth or hinder it. When you allow your emotions to control you, you become a victim of circumstance, reacting to everything around you instead of proactively shaping your own experience. However, when you take control of your emotional responses, you begin to operate from a place of power. You can choose how to respond to any situation, whether it's one of joy, frustration, sadness, or fear. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, you can use them as signals to guide your decisions and refine your mindset. For example, if you feel fear, use it as an opportunity to examine what you're afraid of and challenge that fear. If you feel frustration, take a step back and ask yourself what's within your control and what's not. By taking responsibility for your emotional state, you regain control of your mind and your life. Another powerful tool in mastering your mind is meditation. Meditation allows you to quiet the noise of the world and your own thoughts, creating space for clarity and peace. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment and to create mental stillness. In this stillness, you can connect to your inner wisdom, your intuition, and your deepest desires. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that you gain the clarity to make decisions aligned with your true purpose. The more you practice meditation, the more you cultivate mental resilience. You learn to detach from the constant chatter of the mind and to focus on the present moment. In this space, you are free from the worries of the past and the fears of the future. You become fully engaged in the present, and from this place of centeredness, you can approach life with greater calm and confidence. A final aspect of mastering your mind is cultivating gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you begin to attract more of the things that bring you joy, abundance, and peace. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, reminding you that you already have everything you need to succeed. By incorporating a daily gratitude practice into your life, you retrain your mind to focus on the positive, which in turn helps you to maintain a mindset of abundance, no matter what challenges you face. Mastering your mind is a journey, not a destination. It takes consistent effort, practice, and patience. But when you make the decision to train your mind to focus on abundance and not lack, you unlock a powerful force within you. You realize that survival, thriving, and fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances, but on your ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions. In this space of mental resilience, you become the creator of your own reality, capable of overcoming any obstacle and achieving any goal. In conclusion, mastering your mind is the key to thriving in solitude and surviving life's challenges. It is not physical strength, but the resilience of your thoughts and emotions that ultimately determines your success. By focusing on abundance instead of lack, training your mind to cultivate positive thoughts, managing your emotions with wisdom, and practicing gratitude, you create a foundation of inner strength that allows you to navigate life with confidence and peace. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool, and when you harness it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for your attention and for allowing me the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. May you continue to grow, evolve, and master your mind, creating a life rooted in abundance, peace, and inner strength. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, for a moment and imagine a life where everything you desire already exists, a life where your struggles are behind you and your dreams are your reality. Now open your eyes and realize this truth: resetting your life begins not outside but within you. The first step to resetting is imagination. Your imagination is the creator of your world. What you see, feel, and believe in the mind becomes the blueprint for your external reality. Do not underestimate the power of this inner world. Picture yourself living the life you desire and hold that vision steadfast, for it is the seed from which all transformation grows. But before you plant new seeds, you must clear the garden. Detach from the weeds of doubt, fear, and the habits that no longer serve you. Let go of the stories you've told yourself about who you are and what you can or cannot achieve. Let go of relationships and situations that drain your energy. You cannot reset if you cling to the old. Release it all with grace, for what awaits is far greater than what you leave behind. As you step into this process, align yourself with the vision of your desired self. Ask yourself, who would I be if I were already living the life I want? How would I think, act, and feel? Embody that person now. Act as though it is already done, for this alignment signals the universe to respond in kind. Silence is your greatest ally during this reset. In the quiet moments, you will hear the whispers of your true desires. Shut out the noise of the world, the opinions, the doubts, the distractions. Sit in stillness, for it is there that clarity arises. The reset is not about adding more to your life, but about uncovering what has been buried beneath the noise. And above all, trust. Trust that as you let go of the past, the future will unfold in ways you cannot yet see. Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. Believe in the power of your inner transformation, and the outer world will follow. Let gratitude be your companion. Even as you reset, give thanks for the lessons you've learned and for the new life unfolding before you. Gratitude accelerates the renewal, drawing to you everything you need and more. Now is the time to reset your life. Release the old, imagine the new, and step boldly into the reality you are creating. The power to transform lies within you, waiting to be awakened. Reset your life and let the journey begin. To reset your life, you must first understand the immense power of imagination, for it is the blueprint of your reality. Your imagination is not a passive faculty, it is the active creator of the world you experience. Everything you see, feel, and interact within your external life begins within the realm of your inner world. It is the foundation upon which all of your experiences are built. When you redefine your inner world, you set the stage for profound transformation. Imagination is the silent architect of destiny. Every thought, vision, and emotion you entertain creates a vibration within you, and that vibration shapes the circumstances of your life. Often people live reactively, responding to the world as it is rather than consciously designing the world they wish to inhabit. This reactive way of living leads to cycles of repetition, living the same day, week, and year without meaningful change. To reset your life, you must break free from this loop and consciously imagine a new reality. Begin by asking yourself a vital question: what do I truly desire? Not what others expect of you or what you think you should want, but what resonates deeply within your soul. This is where the reset begins, by identifying and visualizing the life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Close your eyes and allow yourself to dream freely, unrestrained by limitations or doubts. Picture every detail vividly: the sights, the sounds, the emotions. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it sets the foundation for manifestation. The key to this process is consistency. What you imagine persistently shapes your beliefs, and your beliefs guide your actions and decisions. Many people unknowingly sabotage their own growth by entertaining thoughts of lack, fear, and self-doubt. They allow their imagination to run wild with worst-case scenarios and negative self-talk, creating a reality that reflects those inner states. To reset your life, you must take control of your imagination, guiding it intentionally toward visions of abundance, joy, and success. It is not enough to simply imagine a new life once and hope for the best. The process requires discipline and faith. Every day, set aside time to enter the realm of your imagination, visualizing the life you wish to create. Feel the emotions as if it were already true. If you desire love, imagine the warmth and connection of being deeply cherished. If you seek financial freedom, imagine the security and ease of living in abundance. These feelings anchor your imagination in reality, bridging the gap between thought and experience. As you redefine your inner world, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your outer reality. Opportunities that align with your vision will appear, often in unexpected ways. This is not coincidence, it is the natural response of the universe to the energy you emit. What you imagine consistently becomes the foundation of your reality, because your thoughts and emotions are powerful signals that attract corresponding experiences. This process is not without challenges. Doubts and fears may arise, whispering that your dreams are unrealistic or unattainable. In these moments, remind yourself that your imagination is limitless, and that the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. Persist in your vision, even when the evidence of change is not yet visible. Trust that the seeds you plant in your imagination will grow, as surely as a planted seed becomes a tree. The beauty of imagination is that it allows you to create anew at any moment. No matter where you are in life or what challenges you face, you have the power to envision a better future. It is never too late to reset. Each day is a fresh canvas, and your imagination is the paintbrush. By choosing thoughts of love, joy, and possibility, you rewrite the narrative of your life. Your imagination is not bound by the constraints of time, space, or circumstance. It operates on a higher plane, one where all things are possible. Embrace this truth and use your imagination to craft a vision so compelling that it propels you forward with confidence and determination. When you redefine your inner world, you reset your life entirely. The power is within you. Start imagining the reality you desire today. To reset your life, you must detach from what no longer serves you. This is an act of courage and self-awareness, a necessary step to create space for the new. The habits, thoughts, and relationships that have brought you to this point may not be the ones that will carry you forward. Holding on to them out of fear or familiarity only keeps you anchored to a past that no longer aligns with the life you envision. Letting go is not about abandonment or rejection, it is about liberation and renewal. The first step in this process is recognizing what no longer serves you. This requires honest reflection. Take a close look at your daily habits, those automatic actions and routines that shape your life. Ask yourself, are these habits leading me toward growth, or are they keeping me stagnant? Perhaps it's the endless scrolling through social media that drains your time and focus, or the unhealthy food choices that leave you feeling sluggish. While these habits may offer temporary comfort or distraction, they often come at the cost of your long-term well-being and progress. Thoughts are equally powerful. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of can either empower or limit you. Negative self-talk, doubts, and fears often become so ingrained that you mistake them for truth. Yet they are merely patterns of thought, shaped by past experiences or societal conditioning. To reset your life, you must release these limiting beliefs. Begin by challenging them. When a thought arises that tells you I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed, question its validity. Replace it with affirmations that reflect your true potential. Remember, your mind is a garden, and you must be intentional about the seeds you plant. Relationships, too, play a significant role in shaping your reality. While human connections are vital, not all relationships are beneficial. Some people may uplift and inspire you, while others drain your energy or keep you tethered to old patterns. Detaching from relationships that no longer serve you can be one of the most challenging yet transformative steps in resetting your life. This does not mean severing ties with everyone who disagrees with you or causes conflict. Rather, it is about discerning whether a relationship supports your growth and aligns with your values. If it does not, it may be time to distance yourself or set healthy boundaries. Letting go requires more than recognition, it demands action. This is where many people hesitate. The thought of releasing what is familiar, even when it no longer serves you, can be daunting. Fear of the unknown often keeps us clinging to the past, but this fear is a barrier to transformation. To move forward, you must trust that what lies ahead is greater than what you leave behind. Remind yourself that by letting go, you are not losing but making space for something better. The process of detachment is not an act of rejection but one of gratitude and closure. Honor the role that these habits, thoughts, or relationships played in your life. They served a purpose, whether to teach you a lesson, provide comfort, or help you grow. Acknowledge this purpose with gratitude and then release them with love. This act of release is liberating. It frees you from the weight of the past and opens the door to new opportunities. As you let go, be prepared for the discomfort that often accompanies change. Detachment can feel like stepping into a void, a space where the old has been removed, but the new has not yet arrived. Embrace this void as a fertile ground for transformation. It is in this space that you have the opportunity to redefine yourself and your life. Trust the process and know that the discomfort is temporary. Remember that letting go is not a one-time event but an ongoing practice. Life is dynamic, and as you grow and evolve, there will always be things that you need to release. Make it a habit to periodically assess your life and ask yourself, does this serve my highest good? If the answer is no, have the courage to let it go. Detaching from what no longer serves you is not about loss, but about making space for the new. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you are ready to move forward. Trust in your ability to release the old and embrace the possibilities that await. Your future depends on your willingness to let go, And with each release, you step closer to the life you are meant to live. To align with the vision of your desired self, you must live from the end imagining, feeling, and acting as though you have already become the person you aspire to be. This is not mere wishful thinking, but an intentional way of being that redefines your inner and outer world. Your desired self is not a distant possibility, it is a present reality waiting to be expressed. When you embody the mindset, emotions, and actions of this version of yourself, you collapse the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The first step in this alignment is clarity. Who is the person you want to become? What qualities, values, and achievements define this version of you? Paint a vivid picture in your mind down to the finest details. If your desired self is confident, successful, and compassionate, imagine how this person thinks, feels, and behaves. How do they approach challenges? What kind of relationships do they nurture? What goals do they pursue? And how do they carry themselves in everyday life? Clarity is essential because it creates a target for your thoughts and actions. Once you have a clear vision, the next step is to align your mindset with that of your desired self. This requires shifting your internal dialogue and beliefs to match the perspective of the person you aspire to be. If your desired self exudes confidence, you cannot continue entertaining thoughts of self-doubt and insecurity. Begin by affirming the qualities you seek. Tell yourself, I am confident, capable, and worthy. Speak these affirmations not as future hopes but as present truths. The more you repeat them, the more they become ingrained in your subconscious, reshaping your mental patterns. Emotions play a vital role in this process. Your feelings act as the fuel for your transformation. To align with your desired self, you must feel the emotions associated with that version of you as if they are already yours. If you aspire to be joyful and fulfilled, practice cultivating those feelings now. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the sensation of joy, imagining the experiences that bring you fulfillment. Let the emotions wash over you, anchoring them in your present reality. This emotional alignment sends a powerful signal to your mind and body, reinforcing the idea that you are already living as your desired self. Actions are the bridge between thought and reality. To embody your desired self, you must act as though you are already that person. This does not mean pretending or putting on a facade, but genuinely making choices and taking steps that align with your vision. Ask yourself daily, what would my desired self do in this situation? If they would approach a task with determination, then so should you. If they would treat others with kindness and respect, embody those qualities in your interactions. Over time, these actions will create a ripple effect, reshaping your habits and reinforcing your new identity. Living from the end requires unwavering faith in your vision, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. You may encounter moments of doubt or challenges that seem to contradict the reality you are creating. In these moments, remember that your external world is a reflection of your inner state. Persist in your vision, trusting that as you continue to align with your desired self, the outer world will naturally adjust to mirror your inner transformation. This alignment also calls for patience and consistency. Transformation is not an overnight process, but a journey of continual growth and refinement. Celebrate the small victories along the way, recognizing the shifts in your thoughts, emotions, and actions that bring you closer to your desired self. Each step, no matter how small, is a testament to your commitment and progress. Aligning with the vision of your desired self is an act of creation. It is about stepping into the truth of who you are meant to be, not waiting for circumstances to change, but actively shaping them through your inner alignment. When you live from the end, embodying the mindset, emotions, and actions of your desired self, you become a magnet for the life you envision. The transformation begins within, and as you align with this vision, you will find that the world around you begins to shift in response. Your desired self is not a distant dream, it is a reality you are creating in every moment. Start now and live as the person you are destined to be. Silence the noise around you to reconnect with the truth within. In a world saturated with constant activity and endless distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your authentic self. External voices, societal expectations, and the demands of daily life can drown out your inner guidance. To reset your life, you must retreat into solitude and stillness, creating a space where the noise fades and your deepest desires can surface. The first step is recognizing the value of stillness. In the busyness of life, stillness can feel unproductive or even uncomfortable. Yet it is in these quiet moments that clarity emerges. Imagine a glass of muddy water. Only when it is left undisturbed do the sediments settle, revealing the clear water beneath. Your mind works the same way. When you silence the noise, the mental clutter dissipates, allowing your authentic desires and thoughts to rise to the surface. Finding solitude is not about isolating yourself permanently, but carving out intentional moments to be alone. Create a space where you can retreat from the demands of the world. This might be a quiet room in your home, a park bench, or even a secluded corner of a library. The location matters less than the intention behind it, to create a sanctuary where external distractions cannot intrude. Once you've found your space, embrace the stillness. Turn off your devices, mute notifications, and let go of the urge to fill the silence with activity. At first, this quiet may feel foreign or even unsettling, as the mind is accustomed to constant stimulation. Thoughts may race, and you might feel the pull of unfinished tasks or the weight of unresolved emotions. Allow these sensations to come and go without judgment. Stillness is not about achieving perfect peace, but creating a space where you can observe your inner world without interference. As the external noise fades, begin to listen to the whispers of your inner truth. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what others expect of me, not what society values, but what resonates deeply with my soul. These desires often exist beneath layers of conditioning and fear, but in stillness they reveal themselves. Trust what arises in these moments. Your authentic desires are not random, they are the compass guiding you toward the life you are meant to live. Stillness also offers a chance to confront what is holding you back. The noise of daily life often serves as a distraction from unresolved fears, doubts, or past wounds. In silence, these issues may surface, demanding your attention. Rather than avoiding them, see this as an opportunity for healing and growth. Acknowledge these feelings, sit with them, and ask what they are teaching you. By facing these inner obstacles, you clear the path for a true reset. Cultivating stillness is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Incorporate moments of quiet into your daily routine, even if only for a few minutes. Start your day with meditation, sit in silence during lunch, or take a walk without any distractions. These small practices create a habit of reconnecting with yourself, ensuring that the noise of life does not drown out your truth. The beauty of stillness is that it reconnects you to your innate power. When you strip away the external influences and listen to your inner voice, you remember that the answers you seek are already within you. You no longer need to chase validation or approval from others, because you are rooted in the truth of who you are. This self-awareness empowers you to make choices aligned with your authentic desires, setting the foundation for a life of purpose and fulfillment. As you silence the noise, you may notice a profound shift in your perspective. The problems that once seemed overwhelming lose their grip, and the path forward becomes clearer. Stillness brings with it a sense of calm and certainty, a reminder that you are not defined by the chaos around you, but by the peace within. The true reset begins when external distractions fade and you reconnect with the essence of who you are. In this quiet space, you can discern what truly matters, release what no longer serves you, and realign your life with your deepest desires. Silence the noise, embrace the stillness, and allow your inner truth to guide you forward. This is where transformation begins, not in the clamor of the world, but in the quiet wisdom of your soul. Trusting the power of belief is the cornerstone of any transformation. Your life will reset when you embrace the unwavering faith that change is not only possible but inevitable when aligned with your inner conviction. Belief is not a passive hope but an active force, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your imagination that, with care and attention, blossoms into tangible reality. To reset your life, you must first reset your mind, for it is belief that shapes the world around you. Belief begins with an inner vision, one that transcends your current circumstances. It is the ability to see beyond what is visible and hold steadfast to a possibility that is not yet manifest. This requires a willingness to detach from doubt and fear, those persistent voices that whisper, "It's too late," or "You're not capable." Instead, replace these with affirmations of possibility. "I am capable of change, my life is transforming, and everything I need is within me." These affirmations are not mere words, they are declarations of faith that signal to your subconscious mind to act in alignment with this new belief. Faith in unseen possibilities is the driving force behind every major shift. Consider the great innovations, movements, and personal triumphs throughout history. None of them began with certainty in the outer world, but with an inner conviction that defied the evidence of the senses. This is the essence of belief, trusting in the reality of something before it can be proven or seen. To reset your life, you must adopt this same mindset, believing not in what is but in what can be. Belief is powerful because it influences every aspect of your being. It reshapes your thoughts, fuels your emotions, and directs your actions. When you truly believe in the possibility of transformation, you begin to think in ways that align with your desired outcome. Your thoughts become more optimistic and solution-oriented, paving the way for creative ideas and new opportunities. Your emotions shift from fear and frustration to hope and excitement, energizing you to take bold steps forward. Even your body responds to belief, radiating confidence and attracting positive interactions. It's important to understand that belief is not about ignoring reality, but about reinterpreting it. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, view them as stepping stones. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you can create. This shift in perspective is crucial because your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate belief, the energy of transformation begins to ripple outward, reshaping circumstances to align with your vision. Belief requires persistence. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the progress seems slow, or when setbacks make you question your path. These are the moments that test the strength of your conviction. Instead of succumbing to doubt, use it as an opportunity to reaffirm your faith. Remind yourself of why you began this journey and the vision that inspired you. Revisit the emotions of success and fulfillment as though they are already yours. Each time you choose belief over doubt, you strengthen the foundation of your transformation. Trusting the power of belief also means letting go of the need to control every detail. Transformation often unfolds in ways that are unpredictable and beyond your comprehension. Have faith that as you hold your vision and act in alignment with it, the universe will conspire to bring it into being. This does not mean sitting back and waiting, but actively participating in the process, knowing that the how is not your concern. Your role is to stay rooted in belief and take inspired action, trusting that the results will unfold in perfect timing. The power of belief extends beyond individual transformation. It influences the energy you project into the world. When you believe in your potential, others begin to see it too. Your conviction inspires and uplifts, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your personal life. This interconnectedness is a testament to the profound impact of belief, not only on your life but on those around you. Gratitude is a transformative force that accelerates renewal, bridging the lessons of the past with the possibilities of the future. It is not simply a response to what is already present, it is an active state of being that aligns you with the life you desire. To reset your life and invite new experiences, cultivate gratitude not only for what has been but also for what is yet to come. In doing so, you create a powerful energy that magnetizes the life you seek. The first step in practicing gratitude is acknowledging the lessons of the past. Often we view our struggles and challenges with regret or resentment, wishing they had unfolded differently. However, every experience, no matter how painful, carries within it the seed of growth and wisdom. Reflect on the moments that tested you, the decisions that shaped you, and the paths that led you to where you are now. Instead of lamenting what could have been, express gratitude for the strength, insight, and resilience these experiences have given you. They are the foundation upon which your renewal is built. Gratitude for the past is not about glorifying difficulties, but recognizing their role in your evolution. It allows you to release the weight of regret and bitterness, freeing yourself to move forward with clarity and purpose. By appreciating the journey you've traveled, you honor the person you have become and set the stage for the transformation you seek. Equally important is cultivating gratitude for the future unfolding. This requires a shift in perspective, seeing the future not as uncertain or threatening, but as an open canvas filled with infinite possibilities. When you express gratitude for what is yet to manifest, you align yourself with the energy of abundance and expectation. This is not wishful thinking, but a profound act of faith that bridges the present moment with the reality you are creating. Visualize the life you desire and feel gratitude as though it were already yours. Imagine the joy, peace, and fulfillment that come with living this new reality. Let this gratitude fill your heart, radiating outward into every aspect of your being. This practice is a powerful signal to the universe, affirming your readiness to receive and experience the transformation you seek. Gratitude acts as a magnet, drawing opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your vision. Living in gratitude also shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have or what isn't working, you begin to see the blessings already present in your life. This shift in mindset creates a ripple effect, amplifying positive emotions and attracting more of what you appreciate. Gratitude becomes a self-perpetuating cycle, where the more you give thanks, the more you find to be thankful for. To integrate gratitude into your life, start with simple daily practices. Begin each morning by reflecting on 3 things you are grateful for, no matter how small. It could be the warmth of the sun, the sound of a loved one's voice, or the breath that sustains you. At the end of the day, take a moment to review the events that unfolded, giving thanks for the lessons, connections, and experiences that enriched your day. These practices, though seemingly small, build a foundation of gratitude that permeates your entire being. Gratitude also requires presence. Often we become so focused on the past or future that we overlook the blessings of the present moment. Pause throughout your day to notice and appreciate the beauty around you: a blooming flower, a kind gesture, or the rhythm of your heartbeat. These moments of presence anchor you in gratitude, reminding you of the abundance that already exists in your life. Gratitude is not only a personal practice, but a way to deepen your connection with others. Expressing appreciation to the people in your life strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of belonging. Whether it's a heartfelt thank you or a simple acknowledgement of someone's effort, these acts of gratitude create a positive exchange of energy that benefits both giver and receiver. As you embrace gratitude, you will notice a profound shift in your perspective and experiences. Challenges become opportunities for growth, setbacks reveal hidden blessings, and life unfolds with a sense of wonder and possibility. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be, a reminder that renewal is always within reach. In resetting your life, let gratitude be your guide. Appreciate the lessons that have shaped you, give thanks for the blessings already present, and hold gratitude for the future you are creating. This practice will not only accelerate your renewal, but transform the way you see and experience life. Gratitude is the key to unlocking the fullness of your potential and stepping into the abundant, renewed life that awaits you. In the journey to reset your life, the power lies within you. Each principle we explored, redefining your inner world, releasing what no longer serves you, aligning with your desired self, silencing external noise, trusting in belief, and embracing gratitude forms a roadmap to transformation. By committing to these practices, you reclaim your power, create space for renewal, and step confidently into a future shaped by your deepest desires. The reset you seek does not come from external circumstances, but from a shift within. As you embrace these truths, life will naturally reorganize itself to reflect the new, empowered version of you. Trust the process, hold faith in unseen possibilities, and carry gratitude as your compass. In doing so, you align yourself with the boundless potential of creation. Thank you for embarking on this journey of renewal and self-discovery. The life you desire is already within your reach. Step forward and claim it. Life is a journey, and every journey has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But have you ever wondered what it would look like to take every step of your journey hand in hand with the Creator of all things? Imagine a life where every decision, every action, every dream, and every challenge is aligned with divine purpose, a life where God is not just an idea or a distant presence, but the foundation, the guide, and the ultimate destination. Start with God, move with God, end with God is not just a statement. It's a philosophy that, if embraced, can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It's an invitation to shift your perspective from chaos to clarity, from striving to trusting, and from self-reliance to divine partnership. Starting with God means you acknowledge the source of your existence, seeking wisdom and guidance from the one who knows the end from the beginning. Moving with God means you walk in faith, knowing that every step you take is directed by a higher power. And ending with God means you finish your race with the assurance that your life was lived for a greater purpose, leaving behind a legacy that transcends time. This idea is not about religion, it's about alignment. It's about recognizing the ultimate truth that you were created for a purpose. And when you align yourself with God, you unlock your highest potential. Too often, people try to figure everything out on their own. They strive, they plan, and they struggle, only to find themselves burned out and disillusioned. But there is another way, a way of peace, power, and purpose. As we dive deeper into this message, I'll share with you how this principle can change your life, why it's crucial to your success, and the practical steps to live it out. But first, let me ask you this: what if the missing piece to your breakthrough isn't more effort, more knowledge, or more connections, but simply surrendering to God's guidance? What if the life you've always dreamed of is waiting for you on the other side of that surrender? Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted wilderness. You've got a map in one hand and a compass in the other, but the terrain is unlike anything you've ever seen before. The sky is dark, the path is unclear, and fear begins to creep into your heart. Now imagine someone steps forward, a guide who knows every twist and turn, every challenge, and every shortcut in this wilderness. This guide promises to walk with you, to lead you to safety, and to take you beyond what you could ever achieve on your own. Would you trust them? Or would you insist on trying to navigate the wilderness alone? This is the very choice we face in life every day. The wilderness is your life's journey, filled with uncertainty, challenges, and opportunities. The guide? That's God, the one who created the wilderness and knows the path better than anyone. And the choice? That's yours. Will you start this journey alone, relying on your own limited understanding, or will you invite the Creator to walk with you? Most people hesitate. They think they need to prove themselves, to figure it out alone, to show the world they're strong and capable. But let me tell you a secret: true strength comes from surrender. The greatest victories are won when you stop trying to control everything and start trusting the one who controls it all. What if I told you that your struggles, your frustrations, and even your failures are signs that it's time to stop walking alone? What if the breakthroughs you've been praying for are waiting on one simple decision to start with God, move with God, and end with God? Today I want to take you on a journey. I want to show you how this principle isn't just inspiring words, but a practical, life-changing truth. Stay with me, because by the end of this message you'll see why starting, moving, and ending with God is the key to unlocking the life you were meant to live. Starting with God is not merely a suggestion, it is the most profound step you can take to set the trajectory of your life. When you begin any endeavor by anchoring yourself in prayer and seeking God's wisdom, you are laying a foundation that cannot be shaken. Prayer is not just an act of asking, it is a conversation, a communion, and an alignment with the divine. It is the moment where you step out of your limited understanding and into the infinite wisdom of the one who knows all things. In life, we often rush into decisions, propelled by ambition or urgency. We rely on our intellect, experience, or the advice of others, forgetting that there is a higher perspective available to us. This higher perspective sees not just the beginning but the end, not just the visible but also the hidden. When you start with God, you invite this perspective into your life, allowing His guidance to illuminate the path ahead. Think about the process of building a house. The foundation is the most critical part of the structure. It determines the stability, strength, and longevity of the entire building. Without a solid foundation, the house will crumble when storms come. Similarly, when you begin your endeavors with God, you are building your life on a foundation that is unshakable. It is a foundation of faith, trust, and divine assurance. The storms of life challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties may come, but they will not destroy what is rooted in God. Prayer is the starting point of this foundation. It is not about reciting words or following rituals, it is about opening your heart to God and inviting His presence into your plans. When you pray, you acknowledge that you are not the ultimate authority in your life. You recognize that there is one greater than you who holds the wisdom, strength, and clarity you need. This act of humility is powerful because it shifts the focus from self-reliance to divine dependence. Starting with God also means seeking His wisdom. The wisdom of God is unlike human wisdom. It transcends logic and often defies conventional understanding. There will be times when His guidance may not make sense to the natural mind, but it will lead you to outcomes far beyond what you could achieve on your own. When you seek God's wisdom, you are tapping into the source of all knowledge, understanding, and creativity. This wisdom equips you to make decisions that are not only right but also aligned with your purpose. But seeking God's wisdom is not a passive act. It requires a willingness to listen, to wait, and to trust. In our fast-paced world, waiting on God can feel counterintuitive. We are often tempted to act quickly, to take matters into our own hands. Yet the greatest breakthroughs often come when we pause, pray, and allow God to reveal His plan in His timing. Waiting on God is not about inactivity, it is about active faith, a confidence that He is working behind the scenes even when we cannot see it. Beginning with God also transforms how you perceive challenges. When God is your foundation, you approach obstacles with a different mindset. Instead of seeing them as barriers, you see them as opportunities for growth and divine intervention. You trust that God is working all things together for your good, even when the circumstances seem unfavorable. This perspective brings peace and assurance, enabling you to move forward with confidence. Starting with God does not mean that everything will always go according to your plans. On the contrary, there will be times when His plans diverge from yours. But here lies the beauty: God's plans are always better. They are higher, greater, and more fulfilling than anything you could conceive on your own. When you trust Him from the beginning, you position yourself to receive blessings that exceed your imagination. Starting with God sets the tone for the rest of your journey. It creates a pattern of dependency, where every step you take is guided by His hand. This dependency is not weakness, it is strength. It is the recognition that you are not walking alone, and that the Creator of the universe is actively involved in your life. Imagine embarking on a journey where you have a map, but it's incomplete. You might have an idea of where you want to go, but you lack the details of how to get there. Starting with God is like having the full map revealed, with every twist, turn, and destination clearly marked. It doesn't mean the journey will be free of challenges, but it does mean you will never be lost. When you begin with God, you invite Him to be an active participant in your story. You are no longer the sole architect of your life, you are co-creating with the one who designed you for greatness. This partnership is transformative, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. It is the foundation upon which a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment is built. So as you face each new day, each new challenge, and each new dream, remember to start with God. Let Him be the first step, the guiding light, and the unwavering foundation of everything you do. Aligning your vision with God's will is not about abandoning your dreams, it's about refining them. It's about recognizing that your life was created with purpose, and the fulfillment of that purpose lies in harmony with the divine plan. Too often people chase ambitions that, while seemingly impressive, leave them feeling empty or dissatisfied. This is because those pursuits, no matter how grand, lack alignment with what they were truly meant to do. When your vision aligns with God's will, however, you step into a flow of grace, where your efforts are amplified, your direction is clear, and your outcomes have lasting significance. At the heart of alignment is surrender, not a surrender of effort, but of ego. It's the willingness to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." This doesn't mean you abandon your desires. Instead, it means inviting God into the process of shaping those desires. The truth is, many of the dreams placed in your heart were planted there by God Himself. They are seeds of divine intention, waiting to be nurtured and brought to life through your faith and action. But for these dreams to fully flourish, they must be cultivated in the soil of God's purpose. Alignment begins with seeking clarity. It requires you to ask, what is God calling me to do in this season of my life? This question shifts your focus from what you want to what He desires for you. And here's the remarkable part: God's desires for you are always greater than your own. They are not limited by fear, doubt, or human reasoning. They are expansive, transformative, and eternal. When you align your vision with His will, you open the door to a life that is not just successful by worldly standards, but deeply meaningful and fulfilling. But how do you align your vision with God's will? It starts with listening. Too often we are so consumed with our plans and aspirations that we forget to pause and listen to the one who holds the blueprint of our lives. Through prayer, meditation, and quiet reflection, you create space to hear His voice. This voice may come as a sense of peace, a sudden insight, or even a redirection of your plans. Pay attention to these moments. They are God's way of guiding you toward alignment. Next, it's essential to examine your motives. Why do you want what you want? Is it to serve your ego or to fulfill a greater purpose? Aligning with God's will often requires a shift in perspective, where the focus moves from self-centered goals to God-centered intentions. This doesn't mean you must abandon personal desires, but it does mean ensuring those desires contribute to something greater than yourself. For example, pursuing a career should not only be about personal success, but also about how that success can be used to uplift others and glorify God. Another critical aspect of alignment is trust. There will be times when God's will may not align with your immediate plans. In such moments, trust becomes essential. Trust that His plans are higher, even when you cannot fully understand them. Trust that delays are not denials but divine timing at work. Trust that what He withholds is for your protection, and that what He provides is for your ultimate good. Trust transforms what could feel like frustration into faith, allowing you to move forward with confidence, even in uncertainty. Alignment also requires action. Once you've sought clarity, examined your motives, and placed your trust in God, it's time to act. God's will is not a passive force, it requires your participation. When your vision aligns with His will, you will find that the steps you take are met with divine favor. Opportunities arise, resources flow, and doors open that you could never have imagined. This is not to say that the path will always be easy. There will still be challenges, but even in those challenges, you'll sense His presence and guidance. One of the most beautiful outcomes of aligning your vision with God's will is the peace it brings. When you are in alignment, there is a profound sense of assurance that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You no longer feel the need to compare your journey with others or to strive endlessly for validation. Instead, you rest in the knowledge that your life is unfolding according to a divine plan. Aligning your vision with God's will creates a ripple effect. When you live a life aligned with divine purpose, it inspires and impacts those around you. Your actions, decisions, and successes become a testimony of God's power and faithfulness. You show others what is possible when they too choose to align their lives with something greater than themselves. Aligning your vision with God's will is not a sacrifice, it's a gift. It's the realization that true fulfillment comes not from pursuing your plans alone, but from partnering with the Creator of the universe. It's about stepping into the destiny you were created for and living a life that reflects His glory. When your vision aligns with His will, you not only achieve your dreams, you surpass them, entering into a purpose that is eternal, impactful, and uniquely yours. Moving with God means embracing a journey of faith, where trust replaces control and patience becomes your companion. It is a step-by-step process of surrendering your plans, desires, and timelines to a higher purpose. Walking in faith does not mean abandoning effort or sitting idly by. It means actively participating in the unfolding of God's plan while trusting His timing and wisdom. It is about letting go of the need to see every step ahead and relying on the one who knows the end from the beginning. Trusting the process starts with recognizing that life is not a series of random events, but a divinely orchestrated sequence where every moment serves a purpose. Often we become impatient, wanting results on our terms and in our time. We struggle to let go of control because we fear uncertainty. But faith invites us to release that fear and embrace a greater truth that God's timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed. When you move with God, you begin to understand that every delay has meaning, every detour has purpose, and every challenge holds a lesson. Trusting the process means shifting your focus from the immediate to the eternal. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" you ask, "What am I meant to learn?" This shift in perspective transforms frustration into growth, disappointment into trust, and uncertainty into peace. Letting go of control is one of the most challenging aspects of faith. We are conditioned to believe that success comes from planning, strategizing, and working tirelessly. While effort is essential, there is a difference between diligent work and obsessive control. Moving with God requires you to release the illusion that you must have everything figured out. It's a reminder that you are not navigating life alone. There is a greater hand guiding you, a hand that sees what you cannot. Walking in faith also means accepting that God's ways are higher than ours. His plans often unfold in ways we do not expect, and His timing frequently challenges our patience. But His timing is never late, it is always exact. When you trust the process, you align yourself with divine timing, allowing events to unfold as they are meant to. This alignment creates a sense of peace, even in the midst of uncertainty, because you know that everything is happening according to a perfect plan. Faith is not passive, it requires action. Moving with God involves taking steps forward even when the path is unclear. It means doing what you can with what you have, trusting that God will provide the rest. Sometimes the next step is small and seemingly insignificant, but each step taken in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of His purpose. It is like walking through a fog. Though you cannot see far ahead, each step reveals the next, and as you move, the path becomes clearer. Trusting the process also involves releasing the need for immediate results. In a world that values instant gratification, waiting can feel like a struggle. But waiting is not wasted time, it is preparation. In the waiting, God is shaping you, refining your character, and equipping you for what lies ahead. He is aligning circumstances, preparing opportunities, and ensuring that you are ready to receive His blessings. When you move with God, you trust that the waiting season has a purpose, and you remain faithful in it. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable on this journey, but they are not indicators of failure. They are opportunities to deepen your trust in God and to grow in resilience. Moving with God means acknowledging that even in difficulty, He is present and working for your good. The storms of life do not mean you have been abandoned. They are moments to lean into His strength and to discover a deeper reliance on Him. When you move with God, you also learn to celebrate the small victories along the way. Faith is not just about the destination, it is about the journey. Every step, no matter how small, is a testament to your trust in Him. Gratitude for the progress you've made creates a sense of joy and keeps you motivated to continue moving forward. Moving with God is an act of surrender and trust. It is a declaration that you believe in His goodness, His faithfulness, and His perfect timing. It is a commitment to walk by faith and not by sight, knowing that He is leading you towards something greater than you could imagine. By trusting the process, you free yourself from the burden of control and open yourself to the peace, joy, and fulfillment that comes from walking in alignment with His will. Each step you take with God is a step closer to your purpose, your growth, and His promises for your life. Trust the process, for it is in this trust that you find strength, assurance, and the beauty of a journey guided by divine hands. Life is full of challenges, some expected and others that catch us completely off guard. In these moments, it's natural to rely on your own strength to push through. However, there comes a time when even your greatest efforts feel insufficient, when the weight of the obstacle seems too heavy to bear. This is where the transformative power of seeking God's strength becomes essential. Instead of depending solely on yourself, you learn to lean on the One who is all-powerful, whose strength is infinite and unfailing. Relying on God's strength does not mean abandoning your own efforts, but recognizing their limitations. It's understanding that you were never meant to carry life's burdens alone. God invites you to cast your cares upon Him, to bring your struggles, fears, and doubts to His feet. In doing so, you access a reservoir of power that is far greater than anything you could muster on your own. His strength doesn't just support you, it empowers you to overcome. When you face challenges, the first step in seeking God's strength is to acknowledge your need for Him. This requires humility, admitting that you cannot do it all on your own. Our culture often celebrates self-reliance and independence, but faith calls you to a higher truth, that your greatest victories come not through striving alone, but through surrendering to God. This surrender is not an act of weakness, it is a profound act of trust. It says, I believe that God is bigger than my challenges, and I trust Him to lead me through them. Prayer becomes a vital tool in this process. When you turn to God in prayer, you invite His presence into your situation. It is not about presenting Him with a list of demands, but about seeking His wisdom, guidance, and strength. Through prayer, you align your heart with His, gaining clarity and peace, even in the midst of difficulty. The act of praying itself is a reminder that you are not alone, that the Creator of the universe is walking with you, offering His strength to sustain you. Scripture is another source of strength. The Bible is filled with promises that assure you of God's faithfulness. Passages like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13, or the Lord is my strength and my shield. Psalm 28:7 remind you that His power is available to you in every circumstance. Meditating on these truths reinforces your faith and gives you the courage to keep moving forward. When you rely on God's strength, you begin to see challenges differently. Instead of viewing them as insurmountable obstacles, you see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. God often uses challenges to refine you, to teach you perseverance, and to deepen your trust in Him. What may seem like a setback is, in His hands, a setup for something greater. By relying on His strength, you shift your perspective, focusing not on the size of the problem, but on the greatness of your God. It's also important to remember that God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. This means that when you feel the most inadequate, He is able to work in and through you in extraordinary ways. Your limitations become a platform for His power. When you stop trying to do everything on your own and allow Him to take control, you open the door for miracles. His strength enables you to do what you could never do alone. Seeking God's strength doesn't eliminate the struggle, but it changes the way you experience it. Instead of being overwhelmed, you find peace in the midst of the storm. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you move forward with confidence. This is because you know you are not relying on your own finite abilities, but on the limitless power of God. Community is another way God's strength is made available to you. He often uses people to support and encourage you during difficult times. When you share your burdens with trusted friends or family members who share your faith, you allow God's strength to flow through them into your life. They become instruments of His grace, offering wisdom, comfort, and practical help when you need it most. Seeking God's strength is about developing a relationship with Him that sustains you through every season of life. It's about trusting that He is both willing and able to help you, no matter how daunting the challenge. This trust is built over time as you experience His faithfulness again and again. Each victory, no matter how small, becomes a testament to His power and a reminder that you can face whatever comes your way with Him by your side. Life's challenges are inevitable, but they do not have to defeat you. By seeking God's strength, you tap into a source of power that is greater than anything this world can offer. You find the courage to face difficulties, the resilience to endure, and the hope to keep believing. When obstacles arise, let them drive you closer to God, for it is in His strength that you will find the victory. Gratitude is one of the most transformative attitudes you can cultivate on your journey through life. It shifts your perspective from what you lack to what you already have, illuminating the abundance of blessings around you. Gratitude is not simply a response to favorable circumstances, it is a choice, an intentional decision to focus on the goodness of God, even in the midst of challenges. When you stay grateful, you open your heart to receive even more of God's blessings, as gratitude aligns your thoughts and emotions with the abundance He has already provided. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's easy to focus on what's missing or what isn't going as planned. This focus on lack often leads to frustration, anxiety, or even despair. However, gratitude interrupts this cycle. It redirects your attention to the ways in which God has already been faithful in your life. Each breath you take, each sunrise you witness, and each opportunity you encounter is a testament to His goodness. Recognizing these blessings creates a profound sense of contentment and peace. Practicing gratitude begins with awareness. It's about pausing in your day to acknowledge the small and large gifts that fill your life. A kind word from a friend, the beauty of nature, the ability to work and create, all of these are reasons to give thanks. Often these everyday blessings are taken for granted, but when you intentionally reflect on them, you begin to see how richly blessed you truly are. Gratitude awakens you to the miracles woven into your daily life. Beyond just noticing your blessings, gratitude is also about expressing thanks. Whether through prayer, journaling, or verbal acknowledgement, taking the time to thank God for His provision deepens your connection with Him. It's a way of saying, I see your hand in my life, and I trust you. This trust is essential on the journey, as it reminds you that the same God who has provided for you in the past will continue to guide and sustain you in the future. Gratitude is particularly powerful during difficult times. When challenges arise, it's natural to focus on the struggle and feel overwhelmed. Yet even in these moments, there is always something to be thankful for. Perhaps it's the strength to endure, the lessons being learned, or the people who support you. Gratitude during adversity is not about denying the difficulty, but about finding the silver linings and recognizing God's presence in the storm. This shift in focus can transform your experience, replacing despair with hope and fear with faith. One of the most beautiful aspects of gratitude is that it multiplies joy. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you begin to see more and more reasons to give thanks. This positive cycle creates a sense of abundance, as you realize how much you have been given. Gratitude fosters contentment, making you less likely to compare your journey with others or to yearn for what you don't have. Instead, you find fulfillment in what God has already provided. Gratitude also strengthens your relationship with God. When you express thanks, you draw closer to Him, acknowledging His role as the source of all blessings. This deepens your faith as you become more attuned to His presence and provision. Gratitude is an act of worship, a way of honoring God and affirming your trust in His plan. Another remarkable effect of gratitude is its ability to inspire generosity. When you recognize how much you have been blessed, you naturally want to share those blessings with others. Gratitude moves you to give, to serve, and to uplift those around you. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, enabling you to be a channel of God's grace to others. In this way, gratitude not only enriches your own life but also creates a ripple effect of positivity and blessing. Staying grateful requires consistency. It's easy to be thankful when things are going well, but true gratitude is a discipline that must be practiced daily. One effective way to cultivate this habit is to keep a gratitude journal, where you list 3 things you're thankful for each day. Over time, this practice rewires your mindset, training you to look for the good in every situation. Even on the hardest days, you'll find that there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude also has a profound impact on your emotional and mental well-being. Studies have shown that those who practice gratitude regularly experience greater happiness, reduced stress, and improved relationships. This is because gratitude shifts your focus from negativity to positivity, fostering a sense of hope and resilience. When you choose to stay grateful, you create an atmosphere of joy and peace in your life. Gratitude is a response to God's unfailing love and faithfulness. It is a declaration that no matter what the journey holds, you trust in His goodness and provision. Staying grateful doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means recognizing that even in the midst of difficulties, God's blessings abound. When you live with a grateful heart, you not only honor God but also unlock the fullness of life He has promised. Gratitude transforms your journey, turning it into a celebration of His abundant grace. As you journey through life, the way you finish holds profound significance. The end of your journey is not merely about completing tasks or achieving goals. It is about finishing strong with a heart full of purpose, faith, and love. It is about living in such a way that when the final chapter is written, your life stands as a testimony to the goodness of God, a legacy that inspires others to walk in faith and love long after you are gone. To end with God is to ensure that your final steps are guided by the same divine presence that has led you all along. Living with the end in mind does not mean dwelling on mortality, rather. It means embracing each day as an opportunity to reflect God's love and purpose in the world. It is a call to live intentionally, with the understanding that your life is part of a greater story. Every choice, every interaction, every act of kindness contributes to the legacy you leave behind. To end with God is to make every moment count, ensuring that your journey is marked by faithfulness and integrity. One of the most powerful ways to end with God is by staying rooted in your purpose. Purpose is the compass that guides your actions and decisions, helping you remain focused on what truly matters. When you live with purpose, you align your life with God's will, seeking to glorify Him in all that you do. Purpose gives your journey meaning, transforming even mundane tasks into acts of service and worship. It ensures that your life is not only productive but also impactful, leaving a lasting imprint on those around you. Faith is another essential element of finishing strong. Throughout your journey, faith sustains you, giving you the strength to overcome challenges and the courage to keep moving forward. As you near the end, faith takes on an even deeper significance, anchoring you in the hope of God's promises. It reminds you that your life is not defined by earthly achievements, but by your relationship with Him. Faith empowers you to face the unknown with confidence, trusting that God's plan is perfect and that His grace is sufficient. Ending with God also means cultivating a legacy of love. Love is the greatest commandment and the ultimate expression of God's character. When you choose to live a life of love, loving God, loving others, and loving yourself, you reflect His light in the world. Love transcends time and space, leaving an indelible mark on those who experience it. By choosing to love generously, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your lifetime, touching hearts and transforming lives. Leaving a legacy of love requires intentionality. It means prioritizing relationships over material possessions, valuing people over achievements, and seeking to uplift rather than compete. It's about making time for those you care about, offering a listening ear, and showing compassion even when it's inconvenient. Acts of love, no matter how small, have the power to change the course of someone's life. When you live with love at the center, you leave a legacy that speaks of God's grace and goodness. Another important aspect of ending with God is embracing the peace that comes from Him. Life's journey is filled with trials, but when you walk with God, you carry His peace with you. This peace is not dependent on circumstances, it is a deep, abiding assurance that He is with you, guiding you and holding you in His hands. As you near the end of your journey, this peace becomes a source of comfort and strength, allowing you to reflect on your life with gratitude rather than regret. Ending with God also means inspiring others to follow Him. Your journey is not just about your own growth and fulfillment, it is about pointing others to the source of true life. By living authentically and faithfully, you become a beacon of hope, showing others what it means to walk with God. Your words, actions, and attitude can plant seeds of faith in the hearts of those around you, encouraging them to seek Him for themselves. As you consider the legacy you want to leave, remember that it is not about perfection but about perseverance. To end with God is to finish the race, no matter how many times you stumble along the way. It is to remain faithful, even when the path is difficult, and to trust in His strength when yours falters. God's grace is sufficient and His love is unwavering. When you lean on Him, He ensures that your journey ends in victory. To end with God is to finish your journey with a heart full of gratitude and a life that glorifies Him. It is to stand at the end, knowing that you have given your best, loved deeply, and walked faithfully. It is to hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." This is the reward of a life lived with purpose, faith, and love. It is the culmination of a journey guided by His hand and sustained by His grace. When you end with God, you leave behind not only a legacy but also a roadmap for others to follow, a life that points to Him. A life centered on God is a life anchored in peace. This peace transcends the circumstances of life and provides stability even in the most turbulent times. When you place your trust and your focus in God, you invite a sense of calm and serenity into your heart, regardless of what is happening around you. This peace is not the absence of trouble or hardship, but rather the presence of a divine assurance that God is in control. It is the deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing that no matter how stormy life becomes, you are never alone, and you are always held in the hands of a loving and faithful God. In the midst of life's chaos, peace often seems elusive. The world around us constantly bombards us with challenges, uncertainties, and fears. Yet when you choose to center your life on God, you choose to trust in His plan, His timing, and His provision. This trust fosters a sense of inner peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. It is a peace that comes from knowing that God is sovereign and that He is working all things together for your good, even when you cannot see how or why. When you make God your source of peace, you learn to surrender your worries and anxieties to Him. You recognize that you do not have to bear the weight of the world on your own shoulders. Instead, you can cast your cares on Him, knowing that He cares for you. This surrender does not mean that you ignore your problems or pretend they don't exist. Rather, it means you acknowledge that God is greater than any challenge you face. You let go of the need to control every outcome and trust that He will guide you through each difficulty with wisdom and grace. The peace that comes from God is not fleeting or conditional. Unlike the temporary calm that might come from external circumstances, God's peace is constant and reliable. It is rooted in His unchanging nature and His promises, which are sure and steadfast. When you center your life on Him, you tap into this eternal peace that never fails, no matter how unpredictable life may be. This peace becomes a refuge, a place of rest and comfort that you can return to again and again. In times of distress, you can quiet your heart, knowing that God is your source of peace and that His presence will calm your soul. This peace also empowers you to respond differently to the stresses and challenges of life. Instead of reacting with anxiety, fear, or frustration, you are able to approach life's difficulties with a sense of calm and confidence. You begin to trust that even in the hardest moments, God's grace is sufficient, and He will provide everything you need to navigate through the storm. This peace enables you to make decisions with clarity, to act with patience, and to carry yourself with the kind of steady confidence that comes from knowing you are grounded in God's love and guidance. Living in the peace of God also invites a deeper connection with Him. The more you seek His presence, the more His peace becomes evident in your life. Prayer, worship, and quiet moments of reflection help you center your thoughts and emotions on Him, grounding you in the reality that He is always near. The more you experience God's peace, the more you recognize its transformative power. You begin to see that true peace is not found in external circumstances, but in the assurance that God is with you, guiding you and providing for you. The peace that comes from God affects every aspect of your life. It influences your relationships, your work, your health, and your outlook on life. As you experience His peace, you become a source of peace to those around you. You are able to extend compassion, kindness, and understanding to others because you are not driven by the same anxieties and stresses that often characterize human interaction. Instead of being overwhelmed by the pressure of life, you are able to bring a sense of calm and clarity to situations, creating an environment where peace can flourish. In addition, the peace of God guards your heart and mind. In times of trouble, it protects you from despair, doubt, and fear. It guards against the negative thoughts that would otherwise take root in your mind, filling you with uncertainty. With God's peace, you are able to hold on to hope, to stay rooted in faith, and to trust in His promises, no matter what challenges you may face. It becomes a shield that protects your spirit, helping you to remain steadfast and unshaken in your trust in God. A life centered on God is a life that is filled with peace, a peace that defies circumstances and overcomes the challenges of life. When you let God be your source of peace, you invite His presence into every aspect of your life. His peace becomes your anchor, your refuge, and your strength. It is the kind of peace that transforms you from the inside out, helping you to navigate life's difficulties with grace, calm, and confidence. No matter what storms come your way, you can rest in the assurance that God's peace will sustain you, guiding you through every trial and bringing you closer to His perfect plan. The ultimate purpose of life is not defined by personal success, material gain, or individual achievements, but by our ability to reflect God's love to others. As beings created in the image of God, our lives are meant to be a living testament to His love, grace, and mercy. Reflecting God's love to others is the truest form of glorifying Him, for in loving others as He has loved us, we fulfill the deepest calling of our hearts and the very reason for our existence. To reflect God's love is to understand that love is not just a feeling but an action. It is the willingness to serve others, to show kindness in the face of unkindness, and to offer compassion even when it is not deserved. Love is not confined to those who love us in return, but extends to all, especially those who may be difficult to love. God's love for us is unconditional, and when we reflect that love, we extend it without strings attached, without expecting anything in return. This unconditional love has the power to change lives, to heal wounds, and to restore broken relationships. When we reflect God's love to others, we carry the essence of His character. God's love is patient, kind, and long-suffering. It does not boast, nor is it proud. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. This is the love that we are called to reflect. It is a love that looks beyond imperfections and sees the potential in others. It is a love that forgives, that offers second chances, and that seeks reconciliation rather than division. To reflect God's love is to be a channel of His grace, allowing His compassion to flow through us and touch the lives of everyone we encounter. Our actions, words, and attitudes are the reflections of God's love in the world. When we choose to show kindness, speak with gentleness, and act with humility, we are revealing a heart that is aligned with God's will. This does not mean that we live perfect lives, but it means that we strive to embody His love in our daily interactions. Even when we are faced with challenges, trials, or difficult people, we have the opportunity to demonstrate God's love through our responses. When we reflect His love, we invite others to see a glimpse of who He is, His grace, His mercy, and His goodness. Through our love, others come to know the God who loves them unconditionally. Reflecting God's love also means being a servant to those around us. True love manifests in serving others selflessly. Jesus himself demonstrated the ultimate act of love through his life of service. He washed the feet of his disciples, healed the sick, and sacrificed his life for all of humanity. In doing so, he showed us that love is about putting others before ourselves, seeking to lift them up, rather than expecting to be lifted up. When we reflect God's love, we move beyond self-interest and step into the realm of selflessness, offering our time, resources, and energy to care for those in need. Serving others is an expression of love that reflects God's heart and glorifies Him in profound ways. Reflecting God's love requires a heart of humility. It involves recognizing that we are not the source of love, but that it flows through us from God. Love is a gift that we cannot earn, but one that is freely given to us by our Creator. To reflect God's love, we must first receive it in its fullness. This requires humility and openness to God's love and a willingness to allow it to transform us from the inside out. When we allow God's love to fill our hearts, it overflows into the lives of those around us. It becomes a living testimony of His grace, and it glorifies Him by showing others the depth of His love. At the heart of reflecting God's love is the command to love one another. Jesus said, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." John 13:34. This is the essence of God's will for our lives, to love one another as He has loved us. It is in our loving relationships that we glorify God the most. When we love others with a love that mirrors God's love for us, we reflect His character and His heart to the world. This love is transformative. It heals brokenness, brings reconciliation, and creates unity. It is the foundation of all meaningful relationships and the cornerstone of a life that honors God. To reflect God's love is also to live a life of intentionality. We must choose to love others even when it's difficult. It requires effort, sacrifice, and sometimes discomfort, but it is the most powerful way to glorify God. Love requires action. It moves us to serve, to forgive, to encourage, and to uplift. When we reflect God's love, we allow His presence to dwell within us and to guide our actions. Our love becomes a light in a dark world, drawing others to the source of all love, God Himself. The ultimate purpose of life is to glorify God by loving and serving others. Reflecting God's love is not a mere act of kindness, but a way of life, a choice to embody His grace and mercy in every aspect of our being. When we love others as God has loved us, we fulfill the purpose for which we were created and become living testimonies of His love, drawing others to Him through our words, actions, and attitudes. Reflecting God's love is the highest calling we can embrace, for it is through love that we most powerfully reveal God's heart to the world. In conclusion, living a life centered on God, beginning with Him, moving with Him, and ending with Him, is the highest calling we can pursue. It is in aligning our hearts and actions with God's will that we discover true peace, strength, and purpose. By reflecting His love to others, we become vessels of His grace, spreading light and hope in a world that desperately needs it. We are reminded that life is not about our own achievements, but about glorifying God through our faith, trust, and service to others. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of how to live a life with God at the center. May these words inspire and empower you to trust in His guidance, move in His direction, and live in the fullness of His love. Stay blessed, and always remember, when you start with God, move with God, and end with God, you are living a life that reflects His glory and brings true fulfillment. Thank you.